let's get right into it. As you can see here, if you haven't heard, Shepherd, Texas has had a plant explode. This is what it looks like currently. So this has been going on for about an hour or so. The people who are near these towns, there's a 5-mile radius type of thing going on where it's spreading that far. I would say it's probably going to go further. These are chemicals. They're in the air, and that fire is blazing, as you can see. Whew. People are also talking about neighboring places near Houston, small towns near Houston. They're either going to have I would think they're going to have an evacuation. Right now, they're telling people to stay in place, but I'm sure by the time you guys see this, it's probably going to be an evacuation situation, which makes complete sense. They're saying it's a 5-mile radius, the spread, but this is in the air. I would say, you know, just me, I would say like 10, 15. I would get as far away as I could right now if I was in this town or if I was near this at all. They have no idea. They have no idea what actual chemicals are burning right now. So this is another scene. A lot of people have been filming this. It's crazy. Like, even that person there should be further away, I would think. Like, they should be on the way leaving. As you can see, a lot of cars, they're all heading in the opposite direction. You can see this person here, they're speeding down the road. People just want to get away from this, I'm sure. We have no idea, again, what chemicals this is. And I would say it's going to spread a lot further than what they're saying with the 5-mile radius. Here's another one of just what's going on. This person is way too close. Apparently, one person has been injured. One of the workers. They had 40 workers on staff when all this happened. No word of what chemical it is and no word of what started this. All people know is that one person so far has been injured, and they haven't said what the injuries are. So I would say if you're near Shepherd, Texas, you need to move far, far away as soon as possible. I have no idea the impact of this. You know, East Palestine, when they had their situation, the water was affected for a long time and still is, honestly. Whew, this is wild. Absolutely wild. There's another thing here. This is when it first happened. This is one of the first people to actually get film of this. This is when it first happened about, when was this? 11:35 a.m. So this is just what it looks like. If you're close to this, I would say, they say 5 miles. I would say if you're like 20 miles, I would hitch a ride somewhere else for a little bit at least until they know what this is. For now, they're going to do the damage control and not have people panic, right? But I would say you should be panicking a little bit. Here's a report here. These people are live on the scene.
Reka, we're talking about a 22-acre facility that deals with blending, repackaging, storage, and recycling of various petroleum-based products. We're talking about oils and acids, alcohols, solvents, and the like. We checked both state and federal records for any violations of air or water quality regulations. We found none, 0. We also checked for any workplace safety or OSHA violations and found none as well since the current company ownership took shape in 2014. So for Sound Resource Solutions, a clean record according to our research of state and federal records. Now, in terms of how long this fire may burn, let's put it into some context. The owner, Jeff Harfield, told us earlier that on any given day he can have 30 truckloads of unfinished raw product come into the facility and then 30 truckloads leave of finished blended product. Each one of those tankers contain about 7,000 to 7,500 gallons. So the simple math, at a minimum, would we be talking 210,000 gallons of flammable product. Again, Air 11 still showing some of those tanker trucks untouched by the fire. The good news is, according to our meteorologists, that wind continues to push off to the northeast. There is not expected to be any wind shift. So hopefully when the smoke dissipates, firefighters to this point have been taking a very stand and watch defensive approach. But as Jason Miles said, perhaps a tanker with foam is ready to get in there to tap out any hot spots when the smoke dissipates. Ron and Reka.
All right, great information there. Jeremy, thank you so much.
Well, right now our crews are still on the scene looking into all the details for you. Download our KHOU 11 app, turn on notifications for the latest over this explosion in San Jacinto County.
We'll be right back with a look at some of the day's other big headlines. Stay with us.
Hello, I'm Winnell.
So that's what's happening so far there. Fox also has a little bit of a report on it.
Plume of smoke, as is seen, is moving toward that town. Residents in a 5-mile radius, they've been told to shelter in place. At this time, we don't know exactly what chemical is burning as far as the chemical plant that has caught fire, being told that this is Sound Resources Solutions. It's a petroleum processing plant. And Jane, bringing you in on this, this was at the time of that fire when it began, and looking at, yeah, this is current radar.
Yeah, no,
still being detected.
Incredible that it's detected by radar, that you can see this plume of smoke that has come up and how far it's traveled. Here's Highway 59. I mean, imagine driving along that, and that's what you see. And this is what we're picking up from radar. It is very much a developing situation. What's going to happen, you know, in the coming hours? You know, firefighters definitely positioned trying to get containment of this fire, but we've already seen in some of the aerials that grass fires have begun to potentially maybe spark from this nearby.
Yeah, it was that aerial shot. We were seeing some close-ups where you could at times see that some grass around perhaps this plant had caught fire. Winds, generally speaking, have been out of the south. There's some of the images that you can see. So with this chemical plant fire, not sure if this was an explosion or what perhaps happened. There are some initial reports that at least one person injured. But the fire, as it continues to burn, this is a tough thing to put out. But the winds have maybe spread this fire initially into some of the more grassy areas. And so then you're not just watching what's continuing to burn at this processing plant, but also
you can see how it's kind of spread just a touch,
fires,
you know, out and away.
And
this fire is wild. Wow. This is crazy. And the thing is, it's just feeding. It's just feeding on everything that was in the plant. So this is going to be burning for a while. I don't know anything about firefighting, but right now they just have to stand and watch, which I didn't know that was a defense that they used, but in this situation, I guess it makes sense. I mean, some chemicals, who knows what you put when you put water on it, what actually happens. You would assume it would just go out, but again, I don't know anything. They're looking at the wind gusts here, and that's the thing. As this gusts over, where is this going to go? Like here, like on there, that's Texas. If it's blowing this way, Livingston, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, this is wild. This can be really, really bad. Now, I don't have any theories as of yet. I'm sure everybody's going to come out of the woodwork with all sorts of theories. I mean, we have seen a lot of plants explode in the past year and a half or so. So, you know, people are going to have their theories. I'm stepping back right now and just trying to bring this to people so they know what's going on. But this doesn't look good for anybody who's in that vicinity. Again, they said 5 miles. Look at that. Look at that. I'd be on the way out of the state, quite honestly, or at least going the opposite of wherever the wind's going, and going at least 20 miles away. At least. You just have no idea what's in these chemicals. Like this gentleman, one of the gentlemen talked about the smoke dissipating. You don't know that that's going to dissipate. You don't know that it's just going to that's it. Like what happens when it settles? And then after all this is done, what happens when it settles onto any type of waters? What happens when it settles on houses? What happened to the people who for sure got this in their lungs? They really, again, you know, I'm not an expert, but I feel like they should be telling people what this chemical is so they understand what to do. Right? If you told everybody what the chemicals were, and what people could figure out for themselves what the symptoms are of inhaling it, of ingesting it, having it, you know, and then they could start kind of knowing for themselves, like, oh, I'm feeling woozy. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. Okay, this is like this chemical, blah, blah, blah. Whew, man. Absolutely wild. I don't know what's going to happen with all this. I don't know when this is going to stop. And, hopefully, if you're near there, you're safe. Again, they have this stay in place, just stay where you are order. Oh man, if I was near here, you couldn't get me to keep me and my wife just stay at home. I would be on a freeway just going as far as I could. Because at the end of the day, this is one of those like invisible enemies. It's just going to come into wherever you are. I would imagine you're in a house and there is that amount of smoke and chemical going over your house. You're going to get affected by this. You know, no house is really sealed to that extent, you know? Anyways, guys, I just wanted to bring you guys that really quick. And there'll be more videos soon. Like and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.